coming off a very successful 4-1 homestand. Obviously, a lot of momentum to go out on this road trip. And the thing that really stood out about the homestand was one response after another in games. How satisfying is that for you and the coaching staff?
Yeah, obviously, it's seeing something we hadn't seen before in those back-to-back to finish this homestand. It was a great job by our guys, just staying with games. You never how each one unfolds in its own different way, and but just how we finished it off, not giving up. I think we gave up 3 shots last 30 minutes of game, no scoring chances. It's a pretty good sign of just kind of how we've been playing, kind of without the puck, and that's probably been the biggest sort of message for the last 5 games, that we're making it hard for the opposition to get offense, and it's going to be real important going out on the road now.
I'm not sure if it changed with the games last night, but yourselves and Vancouver, the only teams in the NHL top 5 5-on-5 goals for and against. And so is that I know there are other analytics that are a lot deeper than that, but just for the old age stats, is that an indication of just how well you're playing at even strength when everything's normal?
Yeah, well, we always knew we could score goals, and we've always done a pretty good job in that department, but it was, our emphasis from the start of the year has been to defend a lot better and be a tougher team to play against, and I think that's one thing where everybody's grasps that, not just 10 guys, 12 guys, or just our defense or whatever. Everybody's jumped on board of that, and we've created some offense because of our good defense, and it's hard to do at game 55, 60 all of a sudden say, okay, we want to play defense because the playoffs are coming. We want to build something here that becomes sort of our DNA, that it just keeps rolling all season long and it goes right into the playoffs.
The final one for me, the old theory about U.S. Thanksgiving is the determining factor for the rest of the year. Do you believe in that, or is that one you just shake your head to?
I mean, there are some teams that have made it back, but it is something that's been out there for a while. I really don't care too much about other. We don't care too much about other teams. We're just making sure that we're staying in the hunt. We're making it, staying as high as possible in our division and in our conference, and just take care of our business.
Scott, with Gabriel joining the team full practice today, what's the possibility that he might actually suit up for a game later in this road trip?
Yeah, there's a good chance he might. The biggest thing is that was his first real. I mean, I know he's been out on the ice doing some sort of shooting, conditioning stuff here, but that was his first one with all the guys and getting in line rushes and being in a situation where he may have to, shift his weight, change his, maybe happen to run into somebody. He'll do a little bit more of that as this week goes on, and then we'll see how he is. We'll just take it day to day. First, first he has to feel comfortable with his knee and his situation. The second thing is his conditioning. That's a big one that we want. We don't want to put him out there where if he's not ready to go and close to 100% and something happens because he's not in proper shape.
Considering that lines 1 through 3, eye test, metrics, production, they all seem to have really good chemistry and flow. Where have you contemplating putting Gabriel back in?
I've been trying not to think about it too much, but he's, we'll just let it play itself. We'll just, when we look at things where, where we are when that game comes about, when he's going to be back in the lineup, we'll just kind of sit back and look and realize or figure out what that spot is.
Because it was a small sample size with him and Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele, what is the temptation to rediscover that, even though Alex has been filling in very well in that position?
He's an Elite Six player, I mean, he's a top-end player that's, had a breakout year last year, and, I know that, he has a skill set that, he needs to play with top people, and so we'll just, whether that's with those guys, wherever it might be, we'll just kind of let just things play out this week and kind of go from there. Whether he's with those guys or somebody else, he's going to make that line better. He has a skill set that's different from some of those guys. I mean, he's a big power forward with really good hands and plays a lot of the game around the net front. So he'll be a real good addition to us.
Yeah, I'm guessing too. It's like if there was any possibility that you might contemplate him at center, coming back from an injury of that length is probably what's it.
I really are. We're going to look at them all and just see. I mean, maybe not his first game back, throw him in the middle might not be the best thing. But just he's always been an option for us through the middle of the ice. That's something that he's done over his career. So that's whether that happens right away or whether we don't do it at all, we'll just kind of play that along.
Scott, you go 4-1 on the homestand, but a couple of you guys are talking about the Dallas game, and that's the one that's kind of bugging them. That's obviously a good sign, but What do you take from that? Like, is that the mindset do you want your team to have? Like that Dallas one should perk them a bit
I
more?
really do think it's to hear that's means that they're not satisfied, and we know who's sitting at the top of the division and near the top of the conference, and we want to keep climbing and getting after these guys. You got to win those. When you get those head-to-heads, we got a chance when we come off the trip. They're going to be back here waiting for us again, so we got another kick at it. So, but we won't look too far ahead on that. But those guys, to hear them say that's a challenge that they early in the year. It's something that they next kick at it, they want to make sure we do a little bit better.
Barron and Namestnikov.
Just maintenance, that's all. Yep.
Scott, just an off-topic question for you. You've been in this market long enough to know how important the Blue Bombers are to the community. I'm sure you've had to bounce back from some real gut punches. Is there some empathy for what that organization's going through this morning?
Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, that was such a great game. One of the best games I've seen in a long time. And, man, when the Bombers got the lead, I thought they were going to shut it down. And, after last year, I know it was a tough one. But, it was a tough day. My Steelers lost and the Bombers lost. But it was, those guys, I know they didn't win, but that is a dynasty. That's 4 years. That doesn't happen. And, O'Shea's done a great job of making them one of the elite teams in the league for the last 4 years. And hopefully they're right back there again next year, take another shot at it.